Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on.
What's up, DC fans? We are back from our little holiday break. We're back in business to talk more DC. I got so many topics like on deck coming up. We got the CCXP event, which we're going to be doing watch parties for that on this channel. The premiere Creature Commandos, we're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. As current DC fans, DC Comics has really hit a resurgence with this absolute DC, the legendary living legend Scott Snyder, and his absolute Batman and the other titles as well. The Justice League Unlimited. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's coming up. We're going to be again bringing up comics when we get a chance on this channel, and then the successful Penguin series. Just what an amazing ending. So, kudos to the showrunner, Lauren LaFranc, and the crew with that, and the actors and everything. And then we were following the Superman and Lois series finale. Talk about the feels, man. In more ways than one. First off, this is the end of the DC CW Arrowverse, whatever you want to call it. I just remember all the years of DC on CW and how me as a comics fan, you were seeing, they were giving it their best shot to bring you, the best they could, for the DC character adaptations, the Arrow series, the early on Flash seasons. They gave us the Crisis on Infinite Earth, which is a very ambitious. It wasn't a perfect adaptation, but it was very ambitious to try to bring these just grand DC stories to life. And so, with Superman and Lois ending, it definitely is the end of an era. So that was one like kind of ending of an era. But then just the show itself, Superman and Lois, like props to the showrunners. Again, the actors and everyone, the crew with this. This was masterful how they ended this series. They took us to uncharted territory with Superman. Like they gave us something new with the character of Superman that we just never seen these steps they took. I don't know how much better you can do another Superman and Lois show. I'm just saying the way they ended it. This was amazing. And it really showed us this entire season. People talk about the death of Superman and, Doomsday. This was actually the death of Superman. Like they really gave you a quintessential death of Superman story. This final episode, you see, Doomsday comes back. He evolves again and he's fighting Superman. And I got to say, it was nice seeing the Super Sons get involved and help with that battle as well. And definitely that final setup with John Henry with the hammer, taking out Doomsday. It was really good action on the CW budget. They really did the best they could with all the fights with Doomsday this season. And a twist that I wasn't expecting. Again, these writers were cooking. The showrunners were cooking with this show. Tying up all these characters' arcs. They tied up the Doomsday Bizarro arc. Like I didn't see this coming. Every time this creature dies, it evolves. In its final evolution, I'm tired of being the bad guy, basically. Like it took us all the way back to I think it was season 2 with the Bizarro story arc, because that's this character, and that was masterful. And this kind of ties in, if you're reading the comics currently, the Superman run with Joshua Williamson, there is like a final evolution of Doomsday where he kind of gets smart, I guess, basically. That's the best way I could put it. If you're reading the current, again, Superman run in the comics, you see that there is like a further evolution where he's not just a savage person anymore. So that was just a nice little hint. I don't know if they passed notes on that, but that was a pretty cool hint. And then again, tying up their own Bizarro story arc. And then it set up the final battle with Superman versus Lex Luthor. Again, great shots, great cinematography. They really put this budget to use. Having an abbreviated season probably helped, so they could allocate the money for these awesome shots. And I really liked, again, just a full circle of this series. You remember when John Henry first showed up in season 1, and they thought he was Lex Luthor. Now then, Lex steals that power suit. It's just like a full circle moment there. And then, of course, Superman defeats Lex Luthor. He always does. Then it gets to this last 15 minutes. Oh my goodness. If you were just a fan of this show, if you had a favorite character or whatever, just everyone had a proper send off. Just everything's kind of just tied up, loose ends tied up. It's nice to see, again, Superman emphasizes, with his heart, maybe just with his Kryptonian heart, he would have been immortal. But taking Sam Lane's heart and coming back, he has a limited time left. He's basically going to grow old. Him and Lois are going to grow old together, which we never seen before, right? Like they're really going there with this. And it was nice to see again the super family, and again a nice little comic nod. Again, I think they kind of gave a little note, the comics here and there, like the evolution of Doomsday. That was a nice little hint to what the comics are doing now. And then the super family, that's been all over the comics recently, where you have the entire super family together. Well, you got it on this series. You got a nice glimpse, and then you get to they kind of wind this series down. Lois Cancer comes back. Again, Lois and Clark grows old together. We've never seen these images like this before, and they did it, right? And you have the death of Lois Lane. Very dramatic overtones. Again, the last 15 minutes was a gut wrencher, man. And I applaud again the writers, showrunners, everyone involved, actors, and everyone. You get Crypto. They get to put Crypto in this show, which is really, again, that was very appropriate at that time after Clark loses Lois. We get Crypto, and again, we know we're getting Crypto in James Gunn's Superman. So again, just a nice little nod to that. And we finally, we get to the end here, and we realize again, this entire season was about the death of Superman, and we witnessed the death of Kal-El. Like I don't know any other way they could have done this. This was amazing. It fit the show. Again, it just chartered new land, new territory that we've never seen with these characters. You see Jordan and Jonathan, they have their own families. And they all have like 10 kids apiece. I'm sure some of them may have powers, right? It's like those things, that's that hope that this legacy is going to live on. It was amazing. I really just wasn't expecting this show, and definitely do yourself a favor, watch this final episode, watch all 4 seasons. And as I keep mentioning, leading up to this weekend in DC Entertainment, of course, like I said, CCXP, we're expecting some cool comic book panels and maybe some hints towards James Gunn's DCU. We'll see. But also premiering this week, December 5th, this is the beginning of the DCU. Preacher Commandos. It's starting now on Max. Again, this December 5th, I'm doing a watch party on this channel. So we're going to just have it queued up on your end. We're going to go live, and we're going to see if we catch, again, any comic book references and have a good time watching the show. There seemed to be some pretty good word of mouth from the early previews of this show. I know some people point to Rotten Tomatoes as, some kind of gauge of interest. I don't put too much weight in Rotten Tomatoes. It's about the audience for me personally, but just for what it's worth, Creature Commandos has a high Rotten Tomatoes score, from the critics early on. Throughout James Gunn's history, he seems to give the critics what they want. So again, just for what that's worth, it comes down to the audience and also just other outlets that you trust. Now, one outlet that I'm going to point out here is my friends over there at Geek Vibes Nation. I've talked to a few of them behind the scenes. They're just fellow geeks and they love, different stuff as well. They got a chance to view Creature Commandos early, and this is what they said here, that James Gunn and his brand new DCU have a hit in Creature Commandos. This is a definition of must see for anyone still remotely interested in Cape content. This may give many new hope in a genre that has recently struggled to generate excitement, and it's only the beginning. High praise. Again, shout out to my friends over there at Geek Vibes Nation, Sean Paul and everyone over there. Shout out to y'all. And they just gave their honest assessment, 8.5 score. That seems to be a fair score. And like I said, there's been some word of mouth. Maybe there's been some shields that said some good things about Creature Commandos. And I'm just ready to see it for myself. So again, we're going to be over here. We're going to do a live watch party. They did give us a first look of just the vibe of Creature Commandos. And so that was pretty cool as well, leading us again to December 5th for the premiere. This is the new beginning. Like you end with Superman and Lois, and they kind of sync this up perfectly. Again, I'm believing that they're doing a lot of stuff on purpose. You have the end of the CW era DC and the dawn of the new DCU just a couple of days later. It's kind of poetic, and hopefully they stick the landing.
You goat monsters.
Now, apparently, there's been some talks of there's some trouble with the Superman trailer. What is going on here? Everyone is expecting this trailer to be ready this month, but there's been some headlines saying the studio's not happy with the trailer. What's going on? Before we do that, I definitely again appreciated all the support. One major thing to show your support is obviously make sure you're subscribed, smash the like. I'm seeing a discrepancy of views and likes. We got to get that back up. If y'all want to be a part of that conversation over here, make sure you're smashing the like. Y'all already commenting like crazy, so continue that as well. Yes, over this past holiday week, this story kind of popped up, and again, I was on my little break, so I didn't cover it. So we're going to cover it now, where it's saying Warner Brothers higher-ups are said to be very concerned with the first trailer for James Gunn's Superman. It may not be well received and demanded several different cuts. Of course, this is a very highly anticipated trailer. A lot is riding on the first official look at this film. We've covered all the behind the scenes stuff, all the news that's been coming out and leaks and things of that nature. And so I've always said, hey, no matter what you felt about it before, the film, with all the behind the scenes stuff, it's all about that first look for the general audience and how it's going to translate over. So this was just, what someone was saying that they was reporting that there could be an issue with the trailer. And so you already know James Gunn was going to have a comment on this, because this story spread it pretty hardcore over the holiday weekend. James Gunn says, well, sort of, talking about, I guess, that they need different cuts of the trailer. Says, but when he says studio, that's solely me, as the only studio involved in cutting or anything to do with the trailer is DC Studios, which is him and Peter Safran. And as Gunn says, I'm the creatively demanding one. So this is all James Gunn, is the studio, the person behind approving the trailer, right? says, this is the exact same rigorous process I've gone through cutting every Guardians trailer, pushing the marketing folks as hard as I can, cutting and recutting until I think we have something worthy of the film itself. All that said, Gunn says, my notes are a lot more specific than make it better. So Gunn, in a sense, did confirm that, yes, getting involved with cutting this trailer, he did demand several cuts, and that's actually normally what he does, showing just how much he's putting on this trailer as well. Like, everyone else has their expectations. James Gunn's expectations may be even higher than everyone else's. This is his film, this is his baby, and this is the big checkpoint of this new DCU. Yes, it begins with Creature Commandos, but then it really begins right with Superman as far as live action. So I don't mind, him taking his time with this trailer, and still a lot of people are expecting it this month. Maybe it's not going to be ready for CCXP. Maybe we get like a screenshot. I think we're going to get some kind of look at this film, I think, for CCXP. Though Gunn and Safran won't be there, that hasn't stopped Gunn before. He sent videos for Guardians and Suicide Squad in the past and things like that. That's CCXP. So he doesn't physically have to be there. He wasn't at a couple cons last year and he sent videos, or this past year. So I think we're going to get some kind of official look at David Corenswet. Like with post VFX, whatever you got to do, I think we're going to see it CCXP. Then the trailer itself, a lot of people are still expecting that to come out the middle of this month, maybe attached to a big film. What are your thoughts with this Superman trailer? Did that report kind of worry you that he was requesting multiple cuts, and he confirmed that yes, he has been very rigorous with this trailer, but again, it's kind of showing just how much is riding on this trailer and how serious James Gunn is taking it. Again, I like that he's being very hands-on with this trailer, because shoot your best shot, right? That's what's going to sell this film. And this trailer is really becoming an event in itself. So once you drop, you already know we're going to have plenty to talk about.